So it is also important for us at this stage of time to invest our time wisely. So identify the platforms or portals or the channels which are helping you in your journey for life, maybe in staying motivated, or if it is an educational thing, so then it has to help and motivate you in your preparation or taking up any examination. So that is all very important. And हमारे पास में जो ये इतने सारे ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं, इसके साथ में एक क्वेश्चन ये भी है कि नेगेटिव जो मीडिया है वो बहुत जल्दी प्रोपोगेंडा में आता है. नेगेटिव कोई भी न्यूज़ आर्टिकल या कुछ भी होता है, नेगेटिव कंटेंट गेट्स फ्लोटेड वेरी एट अ वेरी रैपिड पेस. So somehow we are consuming the data, we are sharing the data without even verifying. So that is a caution which we as informed and responsible citizens have to exercise. And also, uh, unfortunately, there are now many such content creators, so-called content creators, with due respect to all of the effort which they are doing, but जो रील्स या जो कंटेंट हमारा अवेलेबल है इंस्टाग्राम पे स्पेशली, it is almost close to vulgarity, it is almost close to nudity. So ये सोसाइटी के भी एक डेंजर्स हैं. एज अ पेरेंट, एज अ मदर, it is also kind of, it also bothers me now that yes, our citizens are digitally empowered, उनके पास एक्सेस है, बट वो क्योंकि उस पे अभी जो गाइडलाइंस है उसकी एनफोर्समेंट नहीं हो रही, या इवन इफ देयर वुड बी गाइडलाइंस, देयर आर गाइडलाइंस ऑफ कोर्स, बट it is also the responsibility of each one of us who is posting content, that what kind of content we are posting in public domain, the language, the tonality. वी हैव सीन कि हर महीने 2 महीने में कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे कंट्रोवर्शियल कुछ आता है, हम उसको क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं एंड देन वी फॉरगेट अबाउट इट. बट द पॉइंट इज कि व्हाई इट इज गेटिंग क्रिएटेड. दिस इज एन एल्गोरिदम. Instagram and Telegram, this is all algorithm driven. You guys know better than me. So हम क्यों ऐसे कंटेंट को कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, हम क्यों ऐसे कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स को हम बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं कि वो इस टाइप की चीज़ें बनाएं जो कि हमारे समाज के लिए या हमारे जो अपकमिंग जनरेशन है उनके लिए ठीक नहीं है. सो आई थिंक दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ कॉशन विच वी डेफिनेटली नीड टू एक्सरसाइज. एंड डिजिटली एम्पावरमेंट होना बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. नाउ पीपल इन रिमोट एरियाज दे आर कनेक्टेड, पीपल इन रूरल एरियाज आर कनेक्टेड, they are getting benefit of the government schemes and programs at their doorstep, in their home, sitting in their home, which is very positive. But of course it comes with lot of responsibility and caution to be exercised by the citizens themselves.
Yeah, so my question is, as someone frequently invited to speak at platforms like TEDx and youth forums, what do you believe young aspirants misunderstand the most about the UPSC journey?
आई थिंक यूपीएससी जर्नी सबसे पहले तो उनको क्लैरिटी नहीं होती है कि वाई दे वांट टू बी इनटू सिविल सर्विसेज. This is most important for each one of the aspirant to understand that what is their motivation or what is their purpose to be in UPSC. If it is driven by, say, for example, external factor like power, authority, या वो जो अभी रील कल्चर की मैं बात कर रही थी, या वो रील कल्चर के अकॉर्डिंग अगर वो दे गेट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड एंड दे फील कि नो दे विल गेट पावर, दे विल गेट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दे फील दे विल गेट मनी. सो आई थिंक अगर ये सब माइंडसेट के साथ आएंगे तो दे विल नॉट बी हैप्पी हियर. एंड बिकॉज पैसा और ये जो मॉनेटरी जो चीज़ें हैं, दे आर मच बेटर ऑफ इन द प्राइवेट सेक्टर, they are much better off in the corporate sector and other fields, right? So your reason for being in civil services has to be very clear. It should be people driven, your intention of bringing a change in the society. एंड एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है यूपीएससी के, ये जो एग्ज़ाम है वो देता है कि आपको बहुत यंग एज में आप चेंज लाने की उस पोजीशन प्रोफाइल में जा सकते हैं. You know, if you become an SDM also, तो you are kind of heading the subdivision wherein the line departments are also coordinating with you, and you are looking for law and order, you are looking for public distribution system, you are looking for their revenue, land records. So all these things are there. So सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट तो यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट के लिए ये है कि this reason for being into civil services should be clear. The second thing I would like to say is कि then after they decide that this is their reason of being into civil services, then the strategy should be very much clear. And एक और जो misconception है, जो कि myth क्योंकि आप पूछ रहे हैं, वो ये है कि मतलब कि बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ने का जो प्रयास है वो नहीं करना चाहिए. मतलब you have to stick to the syllabus, and along with the syllabus, of course, your current affairs and your magazines, newspapers, that is very important. But you are not here, giving for a PhD exam. आप PhD नहीं कर रहे हैं. So you should not be in a hurry to mug up so many facts that you are not able to recollect at the time of examination. So prelims is objective, mains is subjective. So mains का जो subjective है उसके लिए सबसे important ये है कि whatever you know you should be able to write, and you should be able to kind of उसको लिखने का उसका ये होना चाहिए आपको. Basically you should be able to recollect it and write it in the way that fetches good marks. So UPSC is not about mugging up the facts, it is actually about representing what you know appropriately in the examination. So that is what the students, the aspirants should take care of.
Moving to the next question. In your view, what qualities should young civil service aspirants cultivate today to effectively tackle India's contemporary issues such as urban governance, climate stress, and inclusive development?
As I mentioned briefly in my initial remarks, that a civil servant has to work in a paraphernalia. That paraphernalia is consisting of various stakeholders, and the stakeholders actually, they also are very dynamic. For example, NGO, civil society organizations, for example, media, and more so now due to the advent of social media, that traditional media has almost got replaced. इतने ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं कि कोई भी सपोज कलेक्टर के सामने मिलने गए हैं, वहाँ पे ही वीडियो बना के दे कैन मेक इट वायरल. सो फर्स्टली, एंड आज के दिन में जो हमारे जो इश्यूज हैं उसमें भी थोड़ा सा चेंज आया है. नाउ वी आर मोर टॉकिंग अबाउट अर्बन गवर्नेंस, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट climate stress. For example, Delhi, maybe we see how things go actually bad during few months when winters start approaching. So one thing is very important, that सबसे पहले तो ये है कि ऑफिसर को ये समझना है कि he or she cannot work in silos, because that interconnectedness is the key now. And as I mentioned earlier also, collaboration is very important. And during many of your crisis situation, your informal channels of communication, only they will help. So firstly, for an officer is that they have to have that team building capacity to work in collaboration. They cannot work in silos. Second thing is that they need to have that empathy, compassion. That is across all points. मतलब वो अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो पहले भी था और हमेशा ही रहेगा. क्योंकि अगर ऑफिसर के अंदर वो कंपैशन, एम्पैथी ही नहीं होगा तो वो लोगों को कैसे सुनेंगे, कैसे समझेंगे, एंड देन वन ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग for a officer is to kind of have that leadership quality. And for that leadership, I do not mean that you should be bossing around. It actually means that you take ownership of your team, and you also develop your team, you build collaboration, you develop your team. And if there is any issue, you have to stand by your team. And as an officer, it is very important to have that courage and responsibility to own your mistakes. If you feel that things have gone haywire, if there is any mistake, so uska ownership bhi lena ye bahut zyada zaruri hai. So I think these are few things which the upcoming civil servants, they should take in mind. they should keep in mind.
Moving to my next question. So many young Indians struggle with motivation and self-doubt during UPSC preparation. So what mental frameworks or habits help you stay resilient through your own preparation phase?
I think mental framework or habits, like definitely I'll share mine. One thing is very important ki whether it is civil services or whether it is any other examination, there will be challenges in life. So challenges in form of failure, challenges in form of you getting not good marks, challenges in the form of not able to clear some examination which have been there. सो एक तो बात ये है कि हमें अपने आप का सेल्फ एनालिसिस रेगुलरली करते रहना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. And this self appraisal, I'm sure you must have heard about the SWOT analysis. So, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So, know your strengths well and also know your weaknesses. So, minimizing your weaknesses and improvising your strength, that is actually very, very important. एंड इफ़ आई टॉक अबाउट माई सेल्फ, सो मेरे लिए तो ज़रूरी यही था कि एक तो मैं टाइम मैनेजमेंट में काफ़ी मैंने ध्यान दिया, सो दैट यू नीड टू हैव रियलिस्टिक टारगेट्स फॉर योर वट एवर टास्क यू हैव टू कंप्लीट. सेकेंड थिंग वॉज दैट आई हैव बीन ऑलवेज गुड एट डिसिप्लिन. सो एज फार एज डिसिप्लिन इज कंसर्न, मतलब मुझे ये था कि क्योंकि मैंने इतना बड़ा बड़ा चैलेंज अपने लिए लिया हुआ था, तो आई न्यू कि इफ़ आई विल नॉट बी कमिटेड और इफ़ आई विल नॉट गिव माई 100% दैट आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्लियर दिस एग्जाम. और उसके बाद भी लाइक आई ऑलवेज टेल द स्टूडेंट्स दैट क्लियरिंग सिविल सर्विसेज एग्जामिनेशन इज स्टिल ईजी, बट उसके बाद जो लाइफ में चैलेंजेस आते हैं, उसके बाद जो चेंज आता है, because along with service you have to manage your social life, you get married, so your family life also starts, you have kids, उनकी भी रिक्वायरमेंट है, फैमिली में पेरेंट्स की हेल्थ को भी देखना है, सोशल सर्कल भी है, सो एंड ऑफ कोर्स योर ओन हेल्थ ऑल्सो इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो फ्रेंड्स, टाइम मैनेजमेंट, डिसिप्लिन, ये मेरे को हमेशा हेल्प किया. एंड this for this mental stress and avoiding how to avoid, sorry, mental stress, it is also important to give some kind of attention to your emotional quotient. So we talk now about EIEQ. So how do you become emotionally resilient, how do you become mentally resilient, that is also actually very important. सो आपको उस चीज़ को भी ध्यान में रखना है एंड हैव सम हॉबीज along with you, have some mechanism wherein you if you feel कि you are reaching the phase of burnout, for example, and you are feeling frustrated, then you should have something for you to rebounds, maybe some friends, some family members, or maybe some hobby which helps you to revisit yourself taking after taking a due break. So I think that is very important. और कुछ ये जो हॉबी की जो बात है, ऐसा कोई ना कोई एक्टिविटी हमें अपने साथ में ज़रूर रखना चाहिए, नॉट ओनली एज अ स्टूडेंट but also after your selection or in any profession you go, because these stresses, these burnouts will definitely keep coming. तो it is important कि हम अपने मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए भी ऐसा कुछ मैकेनिज्म अपने साथ कोई एक एक्टिविटी जरूर रखें.
My next question is, you have worked across diverse administrative roles. Can you share an instance where your legal or company secretary background specifically helped you solve a governance challenge?
Yeah, so specifically, like as a company secretary, as I mentioned earlier, also, ki, when I was posted in Faridabad, so at that point of time, I was the first CEO of the Smart City Faridabad project. And actually, because it was new, so there was no staff, because staff was later recruited, and initially ek do jo log the, they did not know that how a company would be formed, how an SPV would be formed, because it was a project, it was a mission mode project which needed the formation of an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, then hiring of few project manager, another project consultant, something like that profiles, and then drafting of articles of association, memorandum of association. So all those things were required. So I actually used that knowledge there. I also kind of used that knowledge when I was posted in Gurugram also. And as far as my legal background, if I tell, so this has helped me all throughout. So even in Tripura, when I was posted as DM and collector in Gomti district, so अगर कुछ cases आते हैं, जैसे government के against cases होते हैं, which the DA, which the the legal representative who is hired on behalf of government, they actually counsel and they represent the case. So whenever I used to see these cases for the submission before the court, I was more aware, because I knew a bit about law. आई न्यू what policy. So वो लीगल एक्यूमेन अगर आपका डेवलप हो जाता है तो वो ऑल थ्रू आउट ही आपको हेल्प करेगा. And it was not position specific, it has been actually all throughout, as an officer. तो वो अच्छा भी लगता है कि कई बार कि आपके उन्होंने लीगल टीम ने कोई बनाया एंड देन यू आर गिविंग योर सजेशन कि इसमें ऐसे होना चाहिए, दिस इज द केस लॉ, बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी रेड दोज एंड यू हैव अ बेसिक आइडिया. और अगर नहीं भी पढ़ा है तो एटलीस्ट यू कैन मेक आउट कि इसमें क्या और हो सकता है. सो आई थिंक दैट हैज बीन वेरी हेल्पफुल टू मी.
Yeah. So my question is that in 21st century, India is very crucial stage in time, and we are undergoing rapid socio-economic changes. But at this point, we know that there are some things that need to be prioritized. And what do you think that what should be the top three priorities for today policymakers and future civil servants while drafting the policies?
Okay. So, India is definitely undergoing a transition. India is actually becoming a global leader. It aspires to be a Viksit Bharat. We all know the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 given by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Uh, if I am asked about the three areas which I feel need more attention, so first I would definitely say urban governance, because now we are sitting lot of migration happening due to job, due to educational opportunities to all the cities in India. So this I think is kind of creating stress on the infrastructure, stress on the connectivity, stress on the housing, stress on the uh, all kind of facilities which are there. And it is not only in tier 1, it is also in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So I think one is the urban governance, which needs more focus: housing, water, pollution, of course, traffic congestion, all these things. Second, I feel is also related to this, that is the air which we breathe in. So climate change is definitely something we have to discuss more upon. Climate resilience, it should not be only limited to uh, one city or one district. Yes, of course, our government is very much now conscious, and Ministry of Environment and Forest, they are taking lot of initiatives. Various state governments have formulated their task forces, and they are trying to do what they can. But I think yes, this is an issue of the climate adaptation, sustainable water management, clean air, I would say. That is actually very, very important. And we should not only be talking about AQI levels during the winter season, for example, in Delhi. This has to be well thought of, that how during during now next 5 to 7 years, how do we ensure that yes, there is reduction in the pollution level, or we have a better weather, better climate for our citizen. And the third, which I feel is also very important, is how do we invest in our human resources? How do we invest more in our human capital? So human capital investment, if you empower the young people through their education and through their professional background, definitely we will see a much better quality of life for each one of them. So I think investment in education, investment in health sector, That is also one thing which is definitely there, but थोड़ा सा उसमें और अगर हम improvisation करें, and उसमें सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट ही नहीं, उसमें साथ साथ में हमें प्राइवेट सेक्टर का भी पार्टिसिपेशन और बढ़ाने की आवश्यकता है. We need more public private partnerships, we need more such healthcare infrastructure, we need more educational opportunities for our youth to come forward and equip themselves with whatever is the global things, whatever are the global challenges which are there. So I think human capital investment is also very important.
Ma'am, my next question relates to Haryana, and I'm also from Haryana. It's 45 kilometers away from Panipat, Gohana, if you have heard of it.
Gohana. Yeah, I know about Gohana, Sonipat district.
Yes. My question relates to that during your posting in Haryana, there may be a chance when you will be at the crossroads because Haryana is deeply agriculture state, and also Haryana is certainly pushing towards industrialization where their cities are growing and they are still traditional rural areas. So how did you balance the very different governance needs of an industrial state, but that is also deeply agricultural in nature?
So actually, yes, it is very true that it is primarily agrarian. And if we see the districts which are now part of the NCR region, along with Delhi, so NCR region may we have now I think more than 10 districts of Haryana, which have been included in the list of NCR, and the traditionally districts of NCR like the Gurugram, Faridabad, even Sonipat for that matter, and this side, Mewat, Palwal. So all these regions now, in past few years, they have seen these industries coming up very fast, and especially like Faridabad, Gurgaon, they are actually the metro cities. So in metro city, there is a different kind of challenge because there you have one is the, there are three types of population. One is the population which is the inherent population of that area, like they have been staying there since generation. The second is the population which has migrated from other parts. So they originally don't belong to that place, but they have come up from maybe different parts of the state or maybe different states of the country, and they are staying there. And the third is the population who travels or commutes on a daily basis for their work. So in Gurugram, Faridabad, even in Sonipat, we see that lot of and other districts of Haryana, we see that lot of people are even traveling on a daily basis for their employment purpose. So this is definitely not easy, and I remember very starkly that when there was this COVID-19 pandemic first wave, way back in 2020, I was posted in Gurugram, and I was CEO of the City Bus Limited, GMCBL, and additional CEO GMDA. So additional CO GMDA and the city bus, I got an exposure that actually helped me a lot to understand, the complexities which were there. And during COVID-19 pandemic, it so happened that because it all came as something new for everyone. Even we in administration, we did not had a kind of a guideline how to handle. It was all evolving. It was all new for everyone, starting from the मिनिस्ट्री इन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया टू द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट टू द डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. सो हमने उस टाइम में देखा कि किस तरीके से माइग्रेंट पॉपुलेशन है, तो उनके लिए ऐसी जगह एस्टैब्लिश की गई जहाँ पे वो रह रहे थे, तो उनका फीडिंग का, उनका स्टेइंग का और लॉजिस्टिक अरेंजमेंट वाज डन. And then there were RWAs who were permanently stationed there. So how to make the grocery and other, daily essentials getting supplied to them, to the population who are like very high strata, high end strata, working in MNCs. So there is this kind of a complex design which is there. But I think कि यू ऑल्सो लर्न, एंड हमने उस टाइम में कोविड पेंडेमिक में भी कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंट किए. जो इंटीग्रेटेड कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर है उसको हमने शिफ्ट किया, उसको हमने मॉनिटरिंग पर्पस के लिए उसको डेजिग्नेट किया फॉर द purpose of monitoring the lockdown restrictions across the city of Gurugram. The GMCBL buses which were standing there because there was of course no transportation for the public. So we transformed few of the buses to act as ambulances for transit of the patient. Some of the buses were actually transformed to work as the grocery supply for the RWAs. So repurposing of buses was something which was kind of new thing which was never thought of. बट वो क्राइसिस ने हमें मजबूर किया कि हम कुछ इनोवेट करें, हम कुछ नया करके देखें. एंड definitely when there is collaboration and when your intention is good, तो people also support, that is also very important. And similarly अगर हम बात करते हैं the rural part of Haryana or the agriculture part of Haryana, so Haryana is blessed to have a very fertile land. और उसके साथ साथ किसानों की जो समस्याएं हैं वो भी मैंने बहुत क्लोजली देखी. बट हरियाणा में पेट्रियार्की भी एक डोमिनेट करती आई है, इवन दो नाउ थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग इन अ वेरी पॉजिटिव वे. But since my time of education, like when I was preparing for this civil services, so my native is Panipat district, Haryana. So that time, like there were a lot of apprehensions in the family, why this girl is preparing, what is the reason, so all those things. So I have actually seen Haryana very closely myself since my childhood, and then working there as an officer gave a different kind of an experience. But one thing I would like to say that if your vision is clear and people understand that yes, this officer wants to work for our interest, for the people, they also come and support. That is the key. That officer की अगर intention साफ होती है और वो public में अगर message clear जाता है, तो definitely they come and they help and support. Yeah.
Ma'am, my third question is related to your posting in Tripura. When we talk of Northeast, our attention definitely is put to the fact that region had remained somewhat reclusive in kind of infrastructure, isolated and kind of development. So when you were posted in Tripura, what were the key lessons that you got about ensuring an inclusive development in a smaller northeast state where communities were so diverse and the state had limited infrastructure?
Yeah, so Tripura, as far as Tripura is concerned, it's a beautiful state in the northeast. It has geographically, it has the longest border with Bangladesh. I joined the cadre in 2009, June 2009. I joined, starting from my training as assistant collector in West Tripura district to my BDO-ship in Khowai, and then Dukli block, and then to my SDM-ship in Ambasa subdivision in Dhalai district, and then I had number of assignments there. It has a very beautiful mix of Bengali and tribal population. So Bengali population is almost 2/3 and tribal population is 1/3. And amongst the tribal population also there is this 19 major tribes, and then there are further 30 plus sub tribes. So, and each of the tribe has their different kind of language, attire, the way they speak and all. And they primarily want to live in the habitations which has been primarily, they feel that they belong to those habitations. So त्रिपुरा में जाके मैंने सबसे पहले तो लैंग्वेज नया सीखा, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया, तो आई लर्न बंगाली because Bengali is widely spoken there. It is also used in communication by the people. The language for official communication is of course English there, but people use for verbal communication, and even your written, like जो complaints लोगों की आती हैं तो वो बंगाली में लिख के वो भेजते हैं. So I learned Bengali, I traveled a lot, and my aim was that to see the people who are in the remote areas. So for example, as an SDM, I actually toured always the subdivisional area wherein their connectivity was less. So we used to travel a few kilometers by car, and then there were few kilometers, like 8 to 10 kilometers, you had to walk on foot to reach to those tribal hamlets. सो मेरा जितने भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कैंप्स होते थे वो उसी एरिया में लगाते थे हम लोग, जहाँ पे कनेक्टिविटी प्रॉब्लम उस टाइम में थी. 2009-10 की बात कर रही हूँ मैं, कि कनेक्टिविटी प्रॉब्लम की वजह से लोग नहीं आ पा रहे थे टू द मेन लैंड ऑफिस ऑफ द SDM और द BDO. So we tried to reach to them, and there was also this experiment which I would like to share, that there were few habitations, tribal habitations in the subdivision, where there was connectivity issues. So you had to walk like 8 to 10 kilometer, crossing the river streams, river charas, to reach up to those habitations. So when we reached to these areas, we actually saw that the primary health center, the Anganwadi center, the school, which is set up there, they are there, but they are not functioning properly. Why they are not functioning properly? Because the staff which is posted there, they are not able to regularly commute like this, like daily पहले transport से जाना, फिर पैदल जाना, फिर वापस आना. So the attendance was very poor. So what I did was that I talked with the local BSF commandant who was posted in that area, and we requested कि if you can please give some space for the staff to stay in the barracks. So the barracks of the BSF were used for stay of the staff who was posted in these government establishments, and they used to stay there from Monday to Friday, come back on weekend, and within a gap of 1 or 2 months, we actually saw that when we visited these places again, that the school, the Anganwadi center, the primary health center, they have started functioning. तो बच्चे स्कूल जा रहे हैं, आंगनबाड़ी सेंटर में सुविधा है, वहाँ पे बच्चे मिड डे मील की सुविधा ले रहे हैं. So this was a very small exercise which was kind of a collaboration, and I think यही है कि how do we have inclusion in our approach. And later on, of course, road connectivity, now it has improved a lot. Now almost every part of the state is connected by road. एंड सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट यही है कि हमें एज ऑफिसर ये नहीं सोचना है कि नहीं हम नहीं बात करेंगे. We have to find solution. So that solution with empathy, that solution with compassion, I think if that is there with you, that will always guide you, and you will always be able to find out ways to any kind of problem which you look which comes on your way.
And my question for you would be, what message would you like to give to young women who aspire to be a civil servant, but they often feel held back by societal expectations or self-doubt?
Okay. So specifically, as you're asking about women, I would like to say that the struggle for women in the society is still, I would say, higher than as compared to the male counterpart, because India is now progressing towards equality. We have seen a patriarchy-driven society. तो समाज में अभी भी कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जिसमें इक्वालिटी नहीं है, जिसमें लड़कियों के लिए जो challenges हैं वो ज़्यादा हैं. But it should not actually deter you. You have to have that confidence that whatever be the challenges in your way, you will steer through those challenges and you will achieve higher in your life. So self doubt को अपने ऊपर हावी नहीं होने देना है. Identify your capabilities, align them with your vision, and then give your best. That is most important. And one thing I would like to say, that is not only relevant for women, that is for everybody, that your consistency is very important, and your intrinsic motivation is also, friends, very important, right? So your consistency builds your success, and your motivation, your internal motivation, that sustains your purpose, the sustains for which you aspire to be, maybe in civil services or any other career or path which you choose for. And then of course your purpose will actually create or define your legacy. So when we talk about your contribution in the society, that contribution would be actually determined, that contribution would be defined by the purpose which you give for your life, right? And that will only determine your legacy. So believe in yourself. For every one of you, I would just like to give this message that have faith in your capability and believe in yourself, and there is nothing under the sun which we cannot do. Of course there would be challenges, there would be failures, but we have to be consistent in your effort. So be consistent in your effort, be clear about your vision and purpose, and then be patient with your journey.
Now I would like to request Kakul to deliver the vote of thanks.
So, good evening, ma'am, and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Civil Services Forum, St. Stephen's College, I, Kakul Sharma, have the honor to present the vote of thanks. At the outset, I express my sincere and profound gratitude to Ms. Sonal Goyal, ma'am, for graciously sparing her valuable time to interact with us. Ma'am, your insightful reflection on public administration, people-oriented governance, and exemplary leadership have been truly enlightening and immensely inspiring for all of us who aspire to serve the nation with dedication and integrity. I extend my heartfelt thanks to St. Stephen's College for its unwavering support and for fostering an academic environment that enables such enriching engagement. I also convey my sincere appreciation to our respected principal, Mr. John Verghese, for his constant guidance, encouragement, and support. My special thanks are due to our staff advisor, Dr. Sudipto Basu, for his valuable counsel, steady guidance, and continued encouragement. Finally, I would like to place on record my appreciation for my fellow members of the interview panel and the organizing team of the Civil Services Forum for their commitment, coordination, and efficient conduct of today's program. Once again, ma'am, we are deeply grateful for your inspiring presence and invaluable insights. It has indeed been a great privilege to host you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and my best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.